course, concepts like the subscription economy itself, a term that this community coined back in 2008. This whole idea of a subscription economy, it feels like so long ago. But it wasn't just that. This community, we showed that the essence of this concept wasn't just $10 a month, right? Or renting an existing product. There was a whole different way of thinking about business models, right? A whole different way of thinking about businesses that's moving away from a model where we think of our company as selling products, as coming up with hit products and selling as many units as we can, often to anonymous customers. But instead, let's start with the customer. Let's start with the customer and rethink of them as a subscriber and wherever they are, on their phones, in our stores, talking to our people, on the phone with our call centers. Let's make sure they access our innovations in a unified experience. In this community, we help the world see that this changes everything. This changes everything about what we do in the companies that we operate. It changes how we think about pricing. It changes how we innovate. This whole idea of always being in beta, always iterating, this changes how we market. This changes how we sell. This changes the very culture that we need to bring to our organizations, away from hit products and a focus on customers and deep relationships. In this community, we discovered at the heart of this new model is this concept of freedom. This concept of freedom, the reason that we love the subscriptions that we use, the Netflixes, the Salesforces, the Amazon Primes, is that these new things give us freedoms we didn't have before. Freedom to access things where we want it, when we want it. Freedom from obsolescence of outdated products. Freedom from the shackles of product ownership. And we also show that in order to deliver subscriber freedom, in order for the companies that we run to deliver subscriber freedom, the businesses need freedom too. They need the freedom to offer services tailored pricing to their customers. The freedom to flex, to scale, to iterate at the drop of a hat. And so now, 10 years in, all the things that we created, we've taken all the learnings that this community has created, and we wrote a book. We wrote a book. The book, of course, is called Subscribed, Why the Subscription Business Model is Your Company's Future and What to Do About It. And every attendee here gets a copy of the book. So if you haven't grabbed one already, you can clap. If you haven't grabbed one already, make sure you grab a copy. And if you've got friends that weren't able to make it to any of these conferences that we have around the world but are going through a digital transformation project, feel free to get them that book. So it's been an amazing 10 years that we've spent together. We've explored, we've innovated, and in doing so, we changed the world. We changed the world. In the 10 years, the innovations that you have created have changed our world. You've enriched our lives. You've made it better. For example, Twitch, what they didn't just see video games. Everybody else saw video games. What they saw was a social experience of gaming. And now of esports. And because of what they've done, esports and gaming is turning into a multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry. Or let's look at Briggs & Stratton. They make lawnmowers. But they didn't just see the lawnmowers. Because of smart technologies, IoT sensors, they're now seeing landscaping. How do I provide a whole landscaping experience as a service? It's not about lawnmowers. It's about beautiful landscaping. Or NVIDIA, that realized, we sell a lot of chips, but it's not about the chips. It's not about these GPUs. It's about intelligence. And how do I offer this in the cloud? And how do I offer companies that tap into intelligence so they can unlock improvements in medicine, and smart cars, and immersive entertainment? Or it's because companies like the Foundry, these guys here accepting their Academy Award, their big milestone, right? Who realize it's not about computer graphics, it's about award-winning, next-level entertainment that we all enjoy. And so because of the work that you do in this community, you've made our world a better place. Instead of cars, you saw mobility. Instead of records or CDs, you saw music. Instead of servers, you saw applications. You looked at your businesses and you just didn't see things. You saw the people behind the things, what they wanted, what they needed, and what inspired them. Indeed, it's because of the work that this community has done in the last 10 years that we are now witnessing what we call the end of ownership. The end of ownership, this idea that you don't have to own anymore. Instead, we're seeing the rise of usership, right? We now live in a world where we value access over ownership. We value experiences over assets. We don't have to own things to use things. We don't have to be owners to be users. A lot of talk of digital transformation, but when you boil it down, this is what digital transformation is truly about, this whole idea of the end of ownership. And this is why the work that this Subscribe community has done is the most strategic topic that companies are wrestling with today.